Thanks for coming tonight. I know you've got probably a few questions you want to ask. First and foremost, I want to thank you also for your support on Saturday. Unfortunately, it was a bit of same old, but you know, we're happy to answer any questions. I want an open and honest, you know, discussion and forum. We want to turn it round. Them boys over there, they want to turn it round. We know what we need. We know what we need to do. First of all, I think we need to unite the football club and get right behind these boys. Obviously, myself and Andy are taking the team for the future. You right, Josh? That's a fine, by the way. But basically, we need to unite. We know what a critical period it is on the pitch, but we're asking for your help as well. And I know you'll give it to us. We've got a good signing tonight. Matthew Hill has arrived tonight. He's signed for us. You might or might not know him. Played in the Premier League. He's got a wealth of experience. He's a leader of men, so it's a good, positive signing for the football club. And I know he'll be a class act on and off the pitch. I've known Matthew probably 20 years now. And to get to play to the highest level, you have to be mentally strong, resilient, and I know that's one aspect that we need to improve on. So, welcome to Matthew Hill tonight. Yeah, as I say, we're open to any questions, whatever you feel you need to ask. Obviously, I am aware we've got a big game Saturday, so I don't want these in here too long. You know, it's 48 hours prior to a game, so. But like I say, whoever wants to make a first start, or if Andy wants to say anything.
No, I just wanted to reiterate welcome to Matty as well, and for those that are asking questions.
Hang on, that's another fine. Beautiful.
There we go. Matty's a left-footed left back who can play at centre half or centre mid as well. And I'd just like to say we are totally dedicated as a management team, as a bunch of players, to making sure Stafford Rangers stays in this division, and we will stay in this division without a shadow of a doubt, in my opinion. We've come in. I'm very disappointed that Steve's moved on. I've worked with Steve since the year 2000 in football management, and I've known him a lot longer than that as a person. But I said to Mitch and I said to the chairman earlier, you know, because quite easily on Tuesday I did overhear a couple of people saying, oh, it's just like Bury's lot again, you know, we've lost the game 3-2. We'll come on to that in a minute. I can assure you, in my business life, and I've been a successful businessman, I've worked for managers, and you learn from managers, but you're always ready to jump in when that manager gets the tin tack or he moves on in life, because you've got different ideas and you want to progress. And there's no difference here with Alex and I coming in with different ideas. We want to do things differently. Yes, I've learned a lot from Steve Burr over the years, and that's not going to go onto fallen ground. But already, for those of you who came on Tuesday, and I applaud every one of you that was there right to the end, we did set up differently, if you know formations. We did set up to try and not get beat, and for 60 minutes, it was working very well. We'll listen to your questions on why it didn't finish that way, because I can assure you at 4:45, everybody in that changing room was absolutely gutted with the way things turned out. But we're going to give you all our effort and support to ensure that this club stays where it needs to stay. But in return, we need your support. We need your support on a match day. We need your support not on match days. Because believe you me, the slightest bit of, you know, negativity that goes on, it filters into what you see on the pitch as well. You've got to remember we've got some experience, but we've got a hell of a lot of young lads. And young lads can get influenced by the slightest negativity. I just want to ask you all to be as positive as we can. We've got a very difficult couple of weeks coming up, more so with the game on Saturday. But then I'm looking forward to having a week off when we can work extensively with Alex's ideas, our ideas, Paul Hayward's ideas on the training ground. And we've only had we've had an hour and 45 minutes with them lads since we got together. So please give us patience and give us the opportunity.
And the chairman doesn't know yet, but we're taking him to Dubai next week. So. Council, fire away. Anyone? Yo, yes. Introduce yourself.
Adrian Walker,
Hi, Adrian.
Scarborough, live in Scarborough, come specially for tonight.
I'm a York lad.
I personally hope you both are successful,
Thank you.
really do. What I would like to say to everybody here, if you look at last year's league table, we're in exactly the same position now as we were last season with a different manager. So it doesn't make any difference whatsoever. What I would like to ask is, we've got the third worst defensive record in the league.
Yes, we are.
Right, we've only kept 2 clean sheets all season. I want to know from you and from the players what you intend to do about that, because if we carry on the way we are, there's only one place we're going. So that's got to change. So I want to know, that's my question, that's what I want to know.
Yeah, we know the stats. I think it's the third lowest, and I think we scored the 9th highest in goals for. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know where we're going wrong. What I will say is, the last 2 sessions the boys have responded. Can I ask you how many times we've kept a clean sheet for 60 minutes of a game this season? Do you know the answer to that one?
No, I don't know.
Not many.
But it doesn't make any difference.
3, yeah. So what I'm saying is,
what counts.
yeah, absolutely. But the positivity for me is 60 minutes we went Saturday with a clean sheet. Now, that was a small step. Hopefully, I know we haven't got time and time is the essence, but hopefully we can get to 94 minutes. Well, some referees are playing 99 minutes on a Saturday, but if we can get to 96 minutes and have a clean sheet and get a little bit further on, we're always going to score goals. We've got match winners in the team. So what we need to do is forget the psychological effect of talking about being vulnerable after 60 minutes. Why do we do this? Naturally, the lads are lacking in confidence. And confidence is one of the biggest things in football. So they have to feel assured in what they're doing. They have to feel comfortable in making mistakes without being slaughtered. And that's what we need to change. That's why we need you. We need these lads playing with freedom, but also thinking, I can make a mistake and I'll be fine because my teammate's going to get us out of it. We are getting punished. We are working on a shape. I mean, those that were at the game Saturday, I know for 10 minutes after the second half, we didn't start that well, but I thought we were still solid until they scored. Now, I might be wrong. I thought the shape on Saturday for the first 45 minutes, 48 minutes, was probably the most professional we've looked when we've lost the ball in areas. And that was only with an hour's training. So I appreciate we haven't got time, but bear with us. We're working on it. The boys are responsive. They're adapting, and hopefully we can change it in Saturday. Let's be honest. It's a big game. So let's see how we go.
And I'll just add that. Our first signing is a very experienced defensive player, if that helps.
To start.
It shows that we recognise
Our
the
intent.
situation and our intent.
Okay, thank you.
You were first, big man. I think you.
Yeah, Winston,
Hi, Winston.
you obviously know that.
Yeah, I've seen you enough. Thank you.
What I have noticed virtually all this season, the standard of referee isn't very good. That's nothing to do with our club or anything, it's up to the fact that the referees aren't out there. But I have noticed that all the other teams seem to go to play the ref and we can't. It always seems to be that we're the one being picked on. Well, it's not the ref picking on us, it's we're not playing him right, obviously. Does anybody actually keep a log of the referees to figure out what they do, let go, and what they don't, etc.?
No,
before the
but
games?
no, but I agree with what you're saying. I mean, we've been very unlucky with decisions, but again, I mean, they'll say that I'm bad refereeing training some of the players because I give some bad decisions on purpose to make sure that they try and react the right way. But we have been unlucky. I think, again, Saturday, if you really want to be critical of a referee, all 3 goals could have been picked up, even though we've conceded 3, for a handball. The keeper could have been a free kick, and then he's played a short free kick whilst the referee was still talking to one of our players. But we can't no longer use them as excuses. Every week I say to the boys, Andy says to the boys, basically, 11 against 12 or against 13 or 14. It's the referees as well we're playing against.
I think it's more one for yourself. When you can see the referee again on Saturday, really pushing, etc., he didn't bother. He didn't really notice any of that. That seems to be allowed, but we wasn't doing it, they were.
Yeah.
They're getting away with it, we're not. We're getting a bit niggly because they're getting away with it. We do something stupid.
Do you think that's a little bit of temperament in the team?
I'm not sure it's temperament or whether they just need to be told a little bit, look, the ref's been a bit lenient on such and such. Yeah, you've got to start pick up on it.
Thanks,
you know, if you need
Yeah,
to give a push,
definitely.
give him a nudge.
It's a good point, Winston, and I think some of it probably reflects on the fact that we're a very young side, and some of the younger lads are a bit quieter than some of the old lads, and I think, again, having the experience of Matty coming in, he'll be vocal, and certainly Sibs as a goalkeeper is one of the most vocal I've come across for his age, will give us a bit more in the referee's face. You've got to be careful that you don't cross the line that, you know, from a dugout point of view, we might not be similar to previous management teams down here, I don't know, because we're very concerned about the discipline from the dugout side and not crossing that line and costing the club money, to be frank. But I take your point, but I personally get introduced to every referee every week when I go in this charade which is called taking the team sheet, and it is a charade because you shake hands with these people who tell you the name's Billy, they're approachable, come and talk to me, not a problem.
They're definitely not.
The guy on Tuesday, I went and shook his hand at the final whistle and I said, look, for me, you've got three massive decisions wrong. Your first decision is, you're talking to Josh Green and you allow a free kick to be taken quickly, with our players not lined up. You should have pulled that back. Your second one is, you give a deliberate handball against Luke Jones when his hands are by his side and it hits his hand. And the third decision was, we had a shot on goal with about 2 or 3 minutes left, and Scotty for them palms it round the post for a corner, and he doesn't give that. But I'm not going to sit here and moan about referees week in, week out, Winston, because I could do it every week.
Oh, yeah.
The fact is that the quality of referee at this level is very poor, but I can't do anything about it. But your point about getting at them is valid. But there's a point where I don't want our lads turning around and getting shown a red card for abusing a referee.
Oh, yeah, I don't mean abusing.
No.
Play the system.
I know, but you sometimes you get referees interpret even the politest phrase as abusive. But it's a good point.
Thank you.
Good point. Thanks.
Yeah. Graham Colley, a long time
Hi,
supporter.
Graham.
Yeah. First game 1949. I went on to the Michelova site to see the goals and there weren't any on. But the manager's interview was on. Clinton.
Yeah.
And he said they were 2-0 down, nearly 3-0 down, changed the shape to diamond shape. And immediately they knew they would win the game. That's what he said. He said, went in at half time, thought, this is working, we're going. What did you do when they changed shape to counteract that?
To be honest, when they scored on 61 minutes, again, we were very, I thought, solid. Until that long throw-in went in and George didn't take the ball, that goal changed the whole concept of the game. Now, on top of that, we've already spoke about it, whether it's the shape, whether it's people going deep and staying in slots. Naturally, when your confidence is low, as a team, forget the shape. If we're still 4-4-1-1, 4-1-4-1, we've still had enough players against their 4 diamond midfielders to combat their shape. So to say he knew we were going to win the game, I think that's quite easy to say when you're 2-0 down, and you can say that when you've won the game. That's fabulous. But really, did he know? It's like me saying we're going to win Saturday when we don't know.
I mean, they actually changed the shape 20 minutes into the game, not at half time.
No, he said after the when there were when we missed the third goal, he said we realised we needed to take, and we went to diamond shape. But it's true, isn't it? Well, if you look at our team, we've got 2 fullbacks, 2 wingers, a goalkeeper and a centre forward. That's 6 people out of the game. 2 defenders, that's 8 people, not in the middle. So you're only leaving 3 players in the middle. One of those is Tom, who's a creative midfielder. Then you've got 2 out of 4, Jones, Isaac Reed, Jack Sheridan, I can't remember the one. And I've noticed at the home matches, people have got time to take shots from 30 yards. People are running 30 yards unchallenged. We seem to be playing, and I think he was suggesting this, so there's a lot of room after they change shape in the middle of the park.
And that's because we naturally went deep. Because like I say, if we'd have come out of the shape and engaged earlier, like we did the first half, there wouldn't have been space because we outnumber them anyway in midfield because we had 5 in midfield basically. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Can I just touch on that a little bit? Obviously we've talked about, and I think it was mentioned earlier about us conceding goals, and I think that's something that we've identified and obviously the management that have now took over from Steve. Knowing the last gaffer as I did myself and I played with him before, he liked a certain brand of football, he liked to be attacking and he liked us to have the football, and a lot of our emphasis on our play was how we're going to attack other teams. And I think for different reasons this season, we've not been able to get the balance right, and that's quite obvious in the goals that we score and the goals that we concede. I think that's something that we've started to try and address. I think that's something that the management looked at in the shape at the weekend, the game the other day, in trying to get a holding midfielder in there. It's something that when you've got players in your team which you've touched on, creative players, and probably not as many who are defence minded, it's now, obviously with signings like Hilly, that now gives us a chance to start addressing that. I think it's massive that you don't just concede goals as a back four. I know that's easy to say because I play in the back four, but goals are conceded through your team shape, and you'll see it many a time. Goals are conceded through mistakes, the way you've set up, and we score our own goals from mistakes of other teams as well. And I think the sooner that we can address the balance between defence and attack and being more solid, more structured in our attacking play, I mean, at times we commit men forward without even thinking what's at the back of us, and that's something that obviously, like I've just touched on, all of the coming sessions and the coming games, that's something that we're going to try to work on because it's obviously costing us at the moment in games.
Would you feel happy if you had somebody in front of you?
I think as a defender,
yeah.
obviously a defender's always going to want protection, and that's the nature. And me being the type of defender that I am, I'm a ball-winning defender, but the game's changing a lot, and you'll see that a lot of players these days, first and foremost, are brought up through academies to play out from the back and be a footballer. And I think another thing is you're going to bring in players on loan from different clubs, and they'll have been taught a completely different structure of how to play the game, and it takes time to get them to slot into your team and how you want to do it. Now under Steve, we like to attack, and we don't want to take that away from our team, and like Alex touched on, we'll always be a threat going forward. We've got pace and creativity in a team, but we've lacked that stability in our play behind it, and I think the sooner that we start to bring in players like Hilly, who's the experience of him, he'll get players where he needs them. I think it needs more than a few leaders on the pitch. We've lost some big players in terms of the experience of games that they've brought to us. Cal Perry moved on and left. We've had Briscoe who's been injured. These are a lot of players that we've had. Masher, who's again injured. These are players that have played a lot of games, and when games become tight and it's more difficult, when you've played more games, you just kind of know what to do in that situation, or you've had the experience of what to do in that situation. Doesn't mean you'll always get it right, but you've got an idea of how to be more structured in what you do, and I think for too many times this season we haven't been. And look, we were more structured the other day in the game, and yet it didn't win us the game for different reasons. We probably sat back after the first goal for the wrong reasons, thinking, right, we won't risk anything, we'll sit here, and it cost us the opposite way because we didn't have any threat going forward then, and that allowed them to pen us in and have more and more penetration as the game went on.
Raphael Merriman, I'm also representing Yorkshire tonight. I'm from Leeds, and just on a personal note, Jake Charles, man, you know, your granddad would be proud of you. So, you're very shortly going to have a goalkeeper issue. You know, George is on loan. He's going to be going back.
Just pretty short. George has gone back yesterday.
Right, okay, well, it's more imperative then, isn't it? So we've, I mean, obviously, you'll know there's been a lot of backlash over Adam leaving. So I just wonder what's going to happen now.
Basically, thanks for your question. Basically, Adam's come in now, and he's going to play. Basically, whatever went on in the past is the past. We have to draw a line under it. The more we go on about the past, the more the negativity stays with us. We need that cloud to go away. We need Adam to come in, and be comfortable, and do what he's got, what he's good at. And starting from Saturday, Adam will be our goalkeeper for the foreseeable future. I know it's an area that has been, I'd call it a little bit messy throughout the season. I totally agree with you, for whatever reason, but like I say, we have to draw a line in the sand now. Adam's got his chance. We need you to be behind Adam Civita on Saturday, and hopefully you go and win the next game, the next 2 games, and you know how football changes. You've seen it at Man United. People stop talking about the goalkeepers. People stop talking about the negativity. Why are they conceding goals? It all changes. Everything, the perception of everyone's minds changes. So, good luck to the man. I know he'll come in and he'll do great. Anyone else?
Yeah. Dennis Atkinson, volunteer groundsman.
Hi, Dennis, yeah.
What do the team want us to do to improve your confidence on the stands?
Just be like you were on Saturday, because I thought you were fantastic, and I thought the day the shed end opened and we beat Hemsford Town, we said, didn't we, Andrew? It makes a difference. You ask the boys, it makes a difference, doesn't it, boys? Yeah. When they're running into you all and you're singing, and of course it is. Listen, we all don't want to lose football matches, but the nature of the beast is we are going to lose football matches. But we need to address it. We need to get results going the right way, quicker than expected, and I appreciate that. And that's, they're working hard. 2 great sessions with the boys. As I say, dead responsive. They're committed to the cause for you. We know there's 1 or 2 areas we might try and strengthen if we can, but we don't want to just bring in any willy-nilly into the football team to try and make impression. We want an impact signings or people that are going to benefit to get us where we need to go. Is that okay?
Phil Bennett, touching on that, showing about players you want to bring in. I'd imagine since 1970 I've seen about 80% of all our Northern Premier League games. Every team has an ugly player in midfield. Is that the sort of player that you think we need?
Who's the one that's ugly that's injured?
Everybody knows what I call a brick-built shit-house.
Phil, let me address that, Phil. It's it's not been mentioned tonight, but Andre Jones is a huge miss to us at the moment.
Of course.
He was just finding his feet, and I think, from what I've heard, it's not quite a lot of you were like, this guy's quite decent, which he is. He's unfortunately picked up a very bad knee injury from an innocuous knock, which he needs an MRI scan for probably, and we might not see Andre for the rest of this season. We don't know. But he would have given us that protection there, and was just starting to get into some form, and that's how football hits you in the face. I'd love to get, an uglier, but I'm quite happy with pretty boys if they play decent football and they do the jobs, And yeah, Briss is a big miss as well. And Briss has got a lot of experience, but he picked up an ankle injury, about 8-10 weeks ago, Briss. Didn't even want to come off, and we dragged him off because his ankle was at right angles to his leg. And it's been pretty bad. And Briss has done some rehabilitation tonight, and who knows, we might see Briss by the end of January or maybe into Feb, but that'll give us another option to slot in.
And we've also got obviously Pete Williams, who we've signed.
Yeah.
That's his type of game. He wants to compete and battle in there, so there is an option. So, like I say, of course, it's some team. I mean, if you went to was it Matlock? They had the boy.
Who was it? Burton Albion.
Yeah.
Cleveland Taylor.
Cleveland Taylor.
Yeah.
They had him in there, and he just wanted to head it and kick it. I understand what you're saying. So, yeah, of course, I think we've answered that.
Yeah, you touched on the shed end there. Over many, many years, it was a philosophy of the football club that they would always shoot towards the shed end in the second half, on the basis that if the club's already winning, it doesn't matter. If they're not, it'll get sucked in. Is that in anybody's thinking? Or it seems nowadays as though you want to kick towards this end in the first half. Sorry, in the second half.
It's hard because...
I know you don't win the toss, I understand that, but is there a preference, you know?
Well, it's only been, it's probably two home games, the shed end?
What he means is there should be a preference.
Yeah.
We should kick towards the shed in the second half if we win the
if
toss.
that's something that the club wants us to do.
Well, you talked about the fans helping out, you see.
Well, we were telling you now, this is what...
That's brilliant.
And
That's great. That's what you're here for. Your help. That's
Yeah.
fabulous.
The fans will change ends. So obviously, if you want the benefit of the shed, the second half is going to be massively.
Yeah, well, if we win the toss, we'll do it.
Tired legs, it helps. It just helps the situation.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, the Matlock game, certainly people were going, oh, did we not win the toss? We were all walking, why are we not kicking into the shed here in a second? So
We'll play Matlock away.
The Matlock,
the Christmas game. Nantwich.
Nantwich. Right, okay, yeah.
Nantwich game.
Yeah, point taken. Absolutely, yeah.
In the shed there.
We lost the toss, I think.
I know
We could warm up in the far end so we could have
Yeah.
we go out onto the half and then start
Not just a pretty face, Jake, that.
We'll switch where we warm up as well. We'll warm up in front of the shed,
Yeah.
and then we'll kick towards the shed second half, as long as we win the toss. If we don't, we've lost the
Of
toss.
course.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, fine.
I'll give you a signal.
It was still like that in the 70s in the A grade when we had the big cup runs removed.
Nah, of course. Listen, that's a point taken. Brilliant. And any help, like you said, that's
Yeah, the best team in the world kicks towards the Stretford end second half usually. Right, thanks.
Any more?
Yep.
One more again, sorry. There's been some talk about some former players tonight, and this isn't a personal thing or anything, but somebody I've spoken to recently, we're talking about Levi Reid, who you might not be interested or whatever. He wants to play for this football club. He is a bit of a battler. I don't know what you think of him. I don't know what other players think of him. I don't know him personally, but I know he actually said he would play. I know there was a bit of an issue pre-season because I knew about that. But he's actually said he would come and play for nothing. He probably wouldn't play for nothing, but, you know, we're short of bodies, and I don't know. It's only a, it's not a request. It's a question.
Again, I know Levi. I was in a promotion-winning team with Levi at Telford United, and I know he's a great lad. Is he probably the future going on? Probably not. I understand what you're saying, but as I say, at present, you know, this is the squad. We'll never say no to anyone coming in. Let's you know, small steps. Let's get through Saturday. Let's get through the next few weeks. Get that cloud out the way. Try and make these boys confident in what we've got in this dressing room. And as I say, I know Levi very well, and I've got a lot of time and respect for him. But we have to, you know, we have to keep moving forward. Let's put that to a side at the minute. Let's keep moving forward. Let's change what's going on. And as I say, we need everyone to do that.
It's not a problem at all, so long as we do move forward.
Of course, and we're trying. The wheels are in motion to do that.
Yes.
You said that obviously Levi is not the future going forward. Agreed. But surely your job for us now to ensure we don't go down the trapdoor.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts as well.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The only thing is, with Levi now, it's been probably a good few months that he's probably not played. So, it's one of them where we need instant now impact probably to come in and make a difference. So, as I say, is it for Saturday? Is it for the following Saturday? Probably not. So it might be something we look into later on. The door's not closed, but that's all I'm trying to say.
It's worth a chance, isn't it? Can't lose anything. The way we're playing now, the way we're going, we can't lose anything. He's not good. Thanks very much. But